saw one of the good attorneys from Gruber Law Office this morning while I was driving. I said, oh, there he is, off to work and off to help people and help victims, because that is what Gruber Law Office does. What I love about them, they focus on the legal aspect while you, their client, can focus on healing. So I'm telling y'all this right now. If you ever get into a car accident, whether somebody sideswipe you, somebody hits you from the back, somebody hits your front of your vehicle, make one call, that's all, to Gruber Law Offices, and they will take care of you. And always remember, when you work with Gruber Law Offices, you don't have to come out the pocket at all until they win your case. Yes, you never pay a single penny until they win your case. Get with the winning law firm today with Gruber Law Offices, where they have results that speak for themselves by visiting them at gruber-law.com. That is gruber-law.com, or making one call, that's all, to 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666 is one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. And again, we're coming at you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue, 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and Text line, where you can call in or you can text in with your thoughts and your comments on the violent weekend we had here in Milwaukee that touched many of us, where a 7-year-old was abducted at gunpoint. Luckily, he was found on Saturday. And where a Milwaukee legend, promoter, artist, and somebody that many care dearly about, OG Tweezy, was murdered outside of Element nightclub when he was simply outside. I believe he was just trying to hand out wristbands, and he ended up getting shot from behind, I was told. And 5 people got shot at the same time. Three storefronts were shot up as well. But again, 833-212-1017. You can call in or you can text in. But you can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And on YouTube, some of y'all comments, and y'all having a great conversation on the YouTube chat board. LaRon said, don't tell people how to raise their kids. That's how you get canceled, LOL. And I think that it is okay to tell people how to raise their kids so their kids ain't doing right. But don't just tell people. Ask, how can I help? How can I support? Obviously, I ain't going to be there feeding your kid every single day. But what is it that I can do? What can I help expose them to? How can I help you? How can I help the village? I think that's a real question that we definitely need to talk about. Get It Done said, this is the rap generation. That's what we have, senseless violence. And I don't know about this being a rap generation, where when you think about it, the rap generation for me was in the 90s, and you had a lot of kids who were raised in the 90s, who were born in the 70s and raised in the 80s, and kids that were born in the 80s and raised in the 90s that heard about gangster rap, that heard about things going on, where you had the East Coast, West Coast beef. So these kids are just a reflection of, some of these kids are the children or even some grandchildren, mostly I would say children, of those who were raised in the 80s and the 90s, that we see committing some of these heinous crimes in our community. Sincere Ronnie Ray Real said, we have drugs, substances, abuse, and alcohol, internet porn, kids programming, so on and so on, but it's just rap that we jump on. Okay, great. And I think the thing is this, is when I see that is, I agree. There are a lot of things in our community that cause issues, right? There's a lot of bad things that cause issues. But when I think about hip hop and how impressionable our people are, because this is what I'm not going to run from no more. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the parents' fault, all the parents' fault, when these kids are being programmed by the music and they can't differentiate the difference between what's real and what's not. I never forget, I used to work at O.W. Holmes Elementary School in a summer program, and I remember one of the kids, we said, what you want to be when you grow up? He said, I want to be a thug, nigga. That's what he said. 9 years old. That's what he said he wanted to be. Now, obviously, the boy ain't grow up to be a thug. The boy grew up to be a great contributing person to society. But he said what was popularized in our community by some things that we see on TV and the music that we hear. So we got to have a real conversation about that. Because I bet y'all, if hip-hop music was only, as Ben Jammin said this morning on Jam with Juice, was only Christian rap, I bet you we wouldn't be seeing all this senseless violence. Because it wouldn't be the thing that was persuading them, or things they were being told that are cool to do. Being tough, being hard, having guns is cool to some people. Not Really a City Girl said, hip-hop and rap has a lot to do with our current culture. I 100% agree, the good and the bad, unfortunately. And I feel like hip-hop has done so much positive for not only our communities, for our world as well, but again, there has been some negative things that have come from it as well, and I feel like we are sometimes seeing the negative side of what hip-hop is. But again, 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talk to text line, and Chris on the Truth Talking text line said, Kyle, I think the music is the product of what we see on the streets and what is happening in the black community. We are a product of our environment, and the music is just another piece of that puzzle. I 100% agree. But this is where I have certain issues. When I hear music from Lil Durk, or he might just go by Dirk now, Durkio, I'm a fan of his music, some of it. But some of the music is very bad. He had a song that basically talked about Quando Rondo. It had him screaming. Quando Rondo cousin got shot, and I don't know who it was by, but it might have been by Dirk people in response to King Von being killed. And there was a song that Lil Durk made that used the scream of Quando Rondo when his cousin got shot inside the song, right? He was basically mocking another rap artist losing his family member and putting the scream in a song. I'm telling y'all this right now. That is evil. That is desensitizing murder, death. And you have kids, teens, and adults all listening to this. If y'all think that isn't desensitizing people to the fact that killing somebody is terrible, but now you put it in a song, that's a problem, y'all. That is a problem. Again, here at 833-212-1017 on the Truth Talking text line, Stacy said, you're right, Kyle. No hood joints, period. When you get to the location of a place, you know right away if it's possible bull or not. Don't make a bad choice. And I hate to feel that way. Because I'm going to be very honest. Be very honest. Is that I don't like having a mentality, I don't want to go to this place because it makes me feel uncomfortable or some danger could happen, right? But we got to be real about that. What's more important than my ego of saying, well, hell, I can go anywhere in Milwaukee. Like, oh, I ain't going anywhere in Milwaukee. But I can go to downtown Milwaukee and go to this club and not be worried about something happening. No, I can't predict the future. I can't guarantee that something bad won't happen. Nobody can predict when a young lady got shot at Brownstone. Nobody could predict when OG Tweezy got shot. And nobody can predict that. Again, 833-212-1017. I want to hear from you, Truth Nation, because we got to find some possible solutions. And before we go to break, I see you got a call, but on the other side, after we have Al's going to be joining us, I'm going to talk about some potential solutions that we could potentially have to solve some of these issues. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What up, Al? It was great seeing you on Friday at Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes.
You as well. The one thing we have to realize, the word free will. They don't mind black people killing one another as long as you don't go against the people who push the music. Because when you look at other groups, you don't see them doing that. But for some reason, there's a lack of value when they see one another. See, they'll shoot your house down, but they won't do it up to that man who's trying to put his whole fist up your anal cavity. Yeah, just pay attention.
Oh, wow. Jeez, a whole fist. Al, I'll say this as well because I talked about it earlier. I'm not sure if you heard it. The one thing is that rap music has such a violent piece of it, only a piece of it, not the whole, just a piece of it, where you see in country music, you hear about domestic violence, you hear about alcohol and drug use, which runs rampant in a lot of the places that listen to country music, right? You hear about emo music, it's the music that, they talk about self-harm and different things like that. It messes up communities. But I feel like our hip-hop music, not just here in America, but now global, because of how the influence is, it talks about being tough and using guns. In country music, they use guns to hunt. In hip hop, they use guns to kill.
Yeah, but it's a self-destruct within the black community. Because, see, John doesn't tell he gonna call Mary Sue a garden tour or how he gonna garden tour her out. He respect her and say he protect his family. But when it comes to people who look like us, they want you to self-destruct, but you still have basic common sense. They just don't want to do it. Because as long as you do it to your own people and you don't do it to the people who sitting in the mansions, they don't care because they laugh all the way to the bank. We laugh all the way to the morgue. There's a difference.
Thank you,
Have
Al.
a great day.
You too, Al. Thank you so much for calling in. 833-212-1017. We're talking about the senseless violence that occurred over this weekend. When we come back, I heard some great suggestions of how we can potentially stop this, because I want to be able to move freely when I go out, and I think there still is a way that the city of Milwaukee has already implemented that they need to re-implement in order for us to have safer streets in the community. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Walls. I'll give you some solutions and wrap up the show on the other side.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can